Hi, so recently I've been rereading one of my favorite books. It's called Improv Wisdom, written by Patricia Ryan Madison. And it's a book about improv advice and general guidelines for improv, but also guidelines that can be used in real life. And Patricia, she uses a lot of examples of how these guidelines helped her out in her own personal life because she was a improv teacher for many years and she's wrote this book to pass on her knowledge. So today I want to pass along some good advice that I found in this book and is actually my favorite chapter and my favorite piece of advice, and she called it Make Mistakes Please. So it sounds interesting right off the bat, right? So the idea is to generally embrace mistakes and don't be afraid of making them. I want to bring this up because this is something that I struggle with, and I bet a lot of people out there do as well. And this applies to anyone at any age during any time of their life. I bet a lot of people are struggling with perfectionism and trying to avoid mistakes and holding back to not have to go through the pains of making any mistakes that they can't correct. But this book takes a different spin on it because a mistake doesn't necessarily have to be seen as a bad thing. A mistake could be a gift. A mistake could be an opportunity. But in a more fun sense, a mistake is a surprise, something that's unplanned. And that's the way that I like to see it now. Because no matter how much you plan for something, how much you prepare for an event or meeting or just something in your life, mistakes can still happen. So it's a better way to think of a mistake as a surprise. A mistake can be an opportunity to see something new, or it can be an opportunity to meet someone new, or see a new place, or read something new. A mistake could be a good thing because it's something that you did not plan for. So even if a mistake makes you look a little bit foolish, that's fine as well, because in the book, Patricia mentions the term the circus bow, which I've come to like a lot. It's an idea that in the circus, the clowns have a routine of how the show is going to go along. Like we were talking about, it's something they prepared for. However, mistakes can happen. They can trip and fall. They could bump into people. They could bump into themselves. A trick or a stunt that they practice could go wrong. Hopefully not horribly wrong, but they could just mess it up and it doesn't go as perfectly planned. But the philosophy of the circus bow is to embrace a mistake as a clown would. If they messed up, they would stand up, head held up high, and take a big grand bow and embrace the mistake. Look out to the crowd from all angles and take a grand bow. And that's a good mentality to have. If you make a mistake, just embrace it and keep moving forward. Now that's just good life advice right there, to keep in mind that we're all going to make mistakes. And anything we try to pursue and any interaction that we have is going to happen. So instead of dwelling on it and being embarrassed about it, just accept it, laugh it off, and keep going. That's another important piece of advice. Once you make a mistake, once you've accepted it, how do you keep going? Well, just keep in mind what's next. Keep that question in mind instead of how do I look now in front of everyone? I just embarrassed myself. Think about, so what's the next opportunity? Where is this going to take us now? What door just opened up with this mistake? I love this piece of advice. I love this mentality, and I wanted to pass it along because I'm someone who's afraid to make mistakes as well. But now that I'm conscious of this advice, it stays with me, and I'll be using it from now on. And my advice to anyone out there who's also avoiding something in their life, afraid to start something because of the mistakes that they might make, I say go ahead and make those mistakes already. Get them out the way. And keep making mistakes. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying, you're not learning, and you're not seeing what's new. Thanks for listening.